All right, Joe, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
You're at home. I see you're not in the TRD office.
Yeah, from home for sure. Yeah.
All right, well, it's a sunny and nice day. I see you got a nice lit spot to work from.
Just off camera, I've got like 20 lamps all blasting.
Shining on you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the sun shining on you, but
it's my video setup.
It's electric. I got it. All right. So I sent you the report. Let's jump into it.
The thing that jumped out to me was that it was a tough month for new development sales. I don't think there's any way around that. What do you think's going on? What are some of the key factors there?
The Fed is doing their work and they are doing what they want to do, which is to bring housing prices down by increasing rates. And so we're starting to see, at least in New York, is that activity is coming down. What's going to happen with prices, we're still going to see. But with respect to the activity, it's now below where we were pre-pandemic. And so over the last couple of months, we've been looking at the numbers and thinking, when are we going to drop below 2019? And I think we can actually say with some confidence now, we've reached that point. So kind of our first headline here is that activity dipped 20% from September and is down 36% from pre-pandemic levels. So the things that are going on in the mortgage market, maybe more, and beyond that, with all this kind of government action, is starting to really, we're starting to really see the impact. Separately, New York operates differently, of course, than other markets. The pricing is obviously very different. We're not made up of single family homes. We have a lot more kind of high-end inventory. And so there was still fairly strong activity in the luxury sector, and luxury is, kind of 4 million plus. And so in Manhattan, those numbers can go up very high, right? There was a lot of talk recently about $250 million listing. I don't remember if you wrote that story. Yep. Did you write it?
I did. Yeah. Still waiting to see if it happens, but it has.
It's truly aspirational, right? But so, the top contract last month was 17 million, which is a lot, not when we're comparing to numbers that we've had in some other months. But still, there's still some big numbers happening. And so, of course, buyers at that level are not affected by interest rate changes the way people buying starter homes and other kind of lower priced real estate would be affected. That sale, the $17 million sale, was at property that's, done very well. It's in one of the AM Stern. That was at 150 East 78th Street.
Is that a penthouse? It looks like a DPH.
Yeah, so it's been on the market for a couple of years. But again, it's just another example that, really high quality stuff.
Yeah, I noticed on those top sellers this month, we didn't have as many of those sort of trophy towers. Like you have more of these smaller developments that, still ultra luxury, but more boutique, I would say, than like the towers.
Yeah, I think Skyline Tower and Brooklyn Point, some of the big ones, are still doing well. But yeah, you're right. I mean,
at least in Manhattan, like we don't have the Billionaires Road domination that we normally have.
There was no Amman. There was no big sale that
the Amman. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah,
we're anxiously awaiting for the next one there because it's done so well. Like, what's coming?
Right. I was curious if you could talk a bit about the difference between when numbers drop significantly in Manhattan versus when they drop significantly in Queens. Because in Queens it seems like it's more of an inventory thing. At least in the past, it's been the case that it can fluctuate by so much month over month.
So Queens, this past month, Queens had the greatest dip of the boroughs. The numbers are so much smaller. I think in Queens, it may just be an inventory issue. We talk about this all the time, right? Like what buildings are active right now. The most active building was Novo LIC. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. It had 4 sales. It's a 7-floor, 33-unit building with very, entry-level pricing between $620 and $1.3 million. Another thing that we've been really looking at is Manhattan-level prices in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
We now see that. I have a chart here that I want to show you that shows the kind of trajectory of a average 2-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn. Take a look at this. if you see this chart here, this shows you the average price per foot of a 2-bedroom condo in Brooklyn. And you see, going back to 2012, you see over here on the right, you can see the scale here. That was about 600, a little over $600 a foot.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're approaching $1,200 a foot. And the reason for that is, we have Quay Tower, One Clinton, Olympia Dumbo, and Front New York, which are driving these average prices up. And so, kind of this 4 million plus range, which used to be really just Manhattan, with these buildings entering the market, now Brooklyn is solidly in that 4 million plus category.
That was a good quote.
See, I got one.
Yeah, you got it. You always pull through.
Yeah, it's when I don't even know I'm doing it.
Exactly. You get in the flow zone. All right, great. That was all I had.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
Cool. Yeah, no problem. Have a good one.
All right.